Tioga County Fire Control to Berkshire EMS. You need a standby fire call 871 Chamberlain Road for a shed on fire next to a house. So we go. Fire monitors, one taker, needed assist Newark Valley Fire, working house fire, 871 Chamberlain Road. Fire control clear, 2254.
On a cold night in January of 2013, the Owego Fire Department responded to a house fire. And what happened on that night changed the course of the historic department forever.
Owego Fire Captain Matthew Picari was pronounced dead at the hospital after being pulled from a house fire in Newark Valley where the floor collapsed underneath him.
He was a loss that created a deep divide in the department.
This caused a lot of anger and disappointment amongst my active firefighters. And a number of those active firefighters are threatening to stop running calls for their own safety.
The rulebook proposed by some of the firefighters was not approved by the Village of Owego trustees, causing 35 firefighters to resign. So a few of the firefighters and different staff members have joined us now. They're going to talk about how they feel the changes have been made here in the department and kind of like on a positive note, how things are going for everyone. So who wants to start? I guess maybe some of the veterans here, how have you noticed a change in the staff?
I've been in this department roughly 4 years and I've seen a big change. Danny Gavin was my third chief that I've served under, and I've seen a tremendous positive change, not only to just pick up the pieces, but to also move forward. He's not only changed the department, but he's changed the lives of many of the firefighters, both those of us who've been around a while and some of the newer ones as well.
So tell me, what I guess are the major changes that had happened from before, a bunch of the crew left to now? What are some of the big changes that did occur within the department? Anybody?
Well, one of the things when we lost, we never are happy when we lose any of our brothers or sisters out of any department. But one of the things that did happen for us was an element of fracture is no longer here. And it has actually strengthened us and galvanized us even more. We've always been a strong department, as I said earlier. And what it has done is unified and galvanized us into a stronger brotherhood and sisterhood than it was before. And it has also brought about a tremendous support from the community. And because of that, in a little while, hopefully you'll see the new training facility that's being built. And with that new training facilities, we'll become the premier within Tioga County of the ability of doing not only live fire training, smoke training, but we'll also have classrooms that we're going to start using on December 5th to do ICS trainings and so on. And with that classroom comes the ability for the community itself to come in and also use the facility with us. So it's been a very strong influence and a further strengthening of a department that was strong to begin with. So I think it's been excellent.
No, that's wonderful. And then going back to, I guess, all of the losses that you guys had last year, why do you think, like you said, your brothers and sisters left this team? I mean, it's been some time now. The community has time to kind of boil on these things and think about them. Why do you think that your fellow brothers and sisters left this team then? Truly, I mean, it's something that I feel like we've kind of jutted around in the past. Why do you think they said, you know what, we can't do this anymore? Anybody?
I feel they left. They wanted tougher training requirements. They wanted. It's really hard to explain. Like I said, they wanted tougher training requirements for one, and they proposed the village board with this huge document one evening and wanted them to approve it that night, which was extremely unfair. I mean, you just don't do that to anybody. And so then they decided, well, if you're not going to do that, then we're going to leave. So they left, but that's okay. I mean, they made that choice, and we as a department here, we met our PESH violations, we met all the OSHA violations. All of us chiefs have went to the academy and captains and lieutenants and took all the training that is required. So we're moving forward, and and I wish them all the best of luck in their future.
And some of you in New York, do you have something to add? No?
Well, one of the things that I would add to Chief Olmstead's comment They wanted tougher regulations met for us, but those regulations were already in existence. They were just building a new document that served more of a political purpose than it did the actual strengthening. And as the chief just said, we are getting strengthened even more and more, and they've gone and done it. One of the things I found interesting as a village trustee, 2 years in a row, we gave the former chiefs $5,000 for educational training. You go, the village records are open to anybody. Go look, $750 of it was spent. And that was for a select small group of people. Since then, these chiefs have said, this department's open, everybody's getting trained. Between them, my squad captain, Cole, and Jeff up here, is on the squad with us, the training is phenomenally strong, and it's getting stronger and stronger every day. And they don't let you say, well, maybe. They say, you are going to get it. And so they've been strong leaders, but they're also taking the money the village has provided to them, and they're doing the training of the whole department, not just a chosen few. So
That's a wonderful thing. Now, to you younger guys and newer guys, how have you, how did stepping into this situation, how have you now kind of grown from that, and what have you seen, and what has your training been like?
See, I moved back to, this is my hometown, but I didn't live here for quite a while. And I got connected with Nick here, and I, was kind of like going back and forth. Do I want to join the fire department? I want to do something within the community. I want something good for my kids. I'm a single parent, so I think I need something else just to help out and show my kids what they should be doing, when they get older. And Nick gave me a good eye-opener, and he did tell me a little bit about the stuff that was going on. And that really didn't bother me. Like, I didn't look at any of the stuff that went on because I wasn't here for that. So my idea was, like, just looking forward. I want to help these guys. I want to be a part of it. I want to, just like I brought my son down here yesterday, down to the station to, help out over at the station and just do a little cleaning stuff. And my son was laying on top of the fire truck, just looking down at me, and it just gives me this great feeling like, you know what, this is going to give my kids a good eye-opener on what is good for a community, as their mom being involved. And everybody's been great. Like, the training part of it, I couldn't ask for any better. Nick keeps me updated on, a lot of the stuff that's going on with trainings and what I need to do to be able to get what I need. And I'm going to be training with Jeff here. He's going to help me, train to do the driving of ambulances. And, I'm honestly very happy, very impressed. The chief is awesome. Everybody. I have nothing negative to say. Everything has been great, and I just look at it as going forward.
Do you guys then feel...
Nicole hit up on a very key point in one of the strengths of this department. And sitting right next to you is one of them. Her whole family, and the monument that sits down here in the courthouse square is one of her relatives, long since deceased, of course. But she can tell you herself her family history that has come up through. And those families, I grew up in the village as well, a long time ago before we moved because of work, was, as in Company 1s at the time, sorry guys. But at the same time, so a lot of us have history here. Nicole grew up here and left and came back for a while, but it's that family bond that keeps a lot of the strength within this thing. And like I said, her family has a huge history in this thing.
Wonderful. So how do you feel then? I guess like he said, your whole family has served on this in the fire department. How is that kind of like a proudful moment for you too? You're down here too. You greeted me right at the door. So tell me, what is the history here for you?
For me, when we moved back and he joined the number 3s, I decided I had to join too. I grew up in that station. I grew up with my father was a number 3s, my uncle was a number 1, and it's just, and plus cousins and there were a lot of people from my family in there, and I just wanted to support the firefighters. They need our support, and by being a member of ESS, we're able to help them out when they need it. And for me, that's very proud.
Do you feel then, you know, I feel like a lot of the community was very hesitant towards the fire department going through, you know, after, you know, firefighter Picari passed away or was killed, and then the changes and all the fire department left. I felt like the community almost had this, like, kind of an attitude towards the fire department. Do you see that now, a year later, diminishing within your community and that support then coming back?
I see the support coming back, but as far as it's being diminished, I said from the beginning when they were trying to fracture our department, this has been a strong department, and it will always be a strong, proud department.
One of the things too is that with the recent passing of Captain Picari, almost 2 years now, you know, that was part of the reason that caused the fracture to begin with, is everybody had a different outlook of ways that we could do to prevent that, whether it was political or it was training wise or, you know, other standards and guidelines that are within the department. That was a huge part of it, and everybody had their own outlook and opinion as to the way to do that and pick up the pieces and move forward. One of the things as far as the community goes, whether it was the passing of the recent mayor, Ed Arrington, former Chief Franz, or Captain Picari, our community has always shown a support. The support may, you know, swell in numbers and reduce in numbers from time to time, but there's always been this core value that our community stands behind our department, and vice versa. Our department is willing to stand beside their community.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Anything from you guys in the back? You've been quiet back there. Then you good? All right.
I would ask you and anybody else one question to ponder, and then you and I must take off to head for church. If these folks that left was so concerned about the results of Matt's death and what they thought was the right path to go for the department, and if you go look at our documents, you'll see we're on the right path. Passion, everybody else, we're as the chief said and everything. But if they were so concerned, well, then why didn't they stay here and help ensure that that path was taken? Instead, they said, nope, you disagreed with us about something, we're leaving. If they were that concerned about the results of Matt's death, I would have stayed and said, we're going to make sure that we go where we need to go. We got there anyhow, but we didn't turn and run. So, thanks.
On that note, I want to say one thing. The current, you know, chiefs that we have kind of taken back to the old philosophy of, you know, instead of ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's, you know, they've substituted that word of not asking for what the community can do for us, but what we can do for our community. Because without our community, we have no purpose here.
Good man.
There you go. Perfect. And on that note, we are now going to go see their new training facility.
Put on your pair of gloves and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Oh my God, this is so incredibly heavy. And you have to go into a burning building with all of this on. This is absolutely incredible.
We practice the way that we perform, and every time we go out on a call is practice for us, even if it's not a real call.
Okay, here, ladies, come over here really quick. I got a few questions for you. Okay, so how is it being a woman and putting this on? Now, being a woman firefighter, I think, is not many do it. You know, it's not an easy thing, especially when you put all this gear on. How did you feel the first time you as a lady put this on and you're like, oh my gosh?
Well, I'll tell you what, last Tuesday we did that training at that house? That was the first time I ever had a pack on with all my gear. And I ended up taking the pack off like almost toward the end of training because it was like my first day with it on. But eventually, you know, you get used to it.
How about you?
It was, the first time it was difficult, but...
Gosh, well, I can't wait to hear how you guys feel like a year from now, because I wonder buff ladies in the department. Cool.